Welcome back to the channel. This is S.O.G. Man, my bad about my voice. I'm just getting over being sick, but we got work to do. And today we're taking a look at the brand new OSight XE AMRS. Now, if you've seen the review of the XR on the channel, you already know I was really impressed with what OSight actually brought to the table. And in fact, when I made that review, I said it was probably the best optic on the market because of the features, the innovation, and the value that it brought. But one of the things that consistently came up in the comments was the fact that it came with a rechargeable battery. And a lot of people didn't like that. But the XE changes that. So in this video, I want to focus less on repeating all of the stuff I covered with the XR, with the specs and all of that sort of thing, and more on whether this change actually matters in the real world. So that means this video should be a little shorter because if you're familiar with the XR, you already know what the XE will offer. It's the same footprint, design, options, window, controls, reticles, experience, but the biggest difference is right here. Instead of relying on that rechargeable system that's found in the XR, the XE uses a traditional replaceable battery, which is awesome. And while that may seem like a small change, it's actually pretty big in terms of what OSight is doing. The other difference worth mentioning is definitely the price. The XR comes in at around 300 and the new XE will launch at about 250. And at the time of this video that I'm making right now, OSight is also offering an additional 10% discount for the XE's launch. So not only are you getting a traditional replaceable battery that we've all been asking for, but you're also getting into an optic at a lower price point. And that's something that definitely makes the XE worth paying attention to. Now, when the XR dropped, I said it was the best optic on the market. Got a lot of hate for it, but man, it just was so innovative. And not only did it have the world's first rechargeable magnetic cover to recharge the optic, but it also had the first, 6 MOA, 2 MOA with the circle dot, circle option, all those options. Plus, it had those flip up iron sights, as y'all can see right here. So a lot of world's first, and the XR to me was just a big hit because it was so innovative and it had a lot of world's first in the optic world. But a lot of people didn't trust it because of the rechargeable battery case. For years, people have ran optics with just batteries. So I understand why people were like, nah, I'm not going to trust something that you got to plug in because I could buy a ton of batteries. But what if the electricity goes out or whatever? I don't have nowhere to charge it, or this thing runs out and I can't charge the optic. Well, then you're screwed, right? So I completely understand where people are coming from. But honestly, though, the fact that OSight dropped the XE, so now you have a replaceable battery, is OSight recognizing a concern and offering something to us that honestly prefer the replaceable battery. Now let's talk about where the XE sits in today's market, because the gold standard right now for RMR, or like compact guns or full size guns, is the Holosun EPS. That's probably the gold standard right now. And one of the biggest reasons why people go or gravitate to that is because they're familiar with it. That company has built a good reputation. There's trust there. It's the optic has been around for a long, long time. And when the XR released, it really challenged that because again, they try to do something new, something innovative, which you can't really be mad of or mad at. But the XE kind of comes in now and it gives you that familiarity again because it has that replaceable battery. And again, it comes in at a lower price point. So for a lot of people, that's going to make this optic a little bit easier to justify. So which is better between the XR and the XE? Man, that question is really subjective because if you're somebody who prefers innovation, you're going to go with the XR. If you're somebody who prefers the more traditional battery style or battery compartment, we have the XE now. But regardless, OSight is doing something big, man. They're not afraid to be innovative. They've showed us that. And they're not afraid to also answer to their criticism. They could have easily said, no, we're not going to that battery thing. We're doing our own thing. Forget what everybody's saying. This is our market. This is our people, whatever. But no, they're really trying to do what people have been requesting. Honestly, they're like the people's optic. They're really listening. And that's something that we have to take into consideration. Now, me personally, I love both. But if I had to just pick one, I think I'd go with the XE, only because I'm just like you guys. I prefer something that I'm familiar with. Reliability is huge to me. And I'm not saying the XR has been unreliable because it hasn't. It's been great. It's been on point. It's been awesome. But just the fact that it's something new, I still have to kind of ease my way into that platform and really make sure that throughout these years that are coming up, it'll really hold its own. And it's something that we can trust always, not just while it's new or while it just launched. The battery system thing has been around for years and we trust it. We're familiar with it. and it's reliable, and that's why most people will gravitate towards that. But I do run both. I don't mind the XR. It's completely awesome. The one thing I will mention though is another difference between these two is that because the XE is battery operated, the deck height does come in a little bit higher, so you're going to get less of a co-witness compared to the XR. Now, again, regardless if you get that co-witness or not, the XE also has those backup iron sights that you could use and just, be good to go. And to wrap this video up, I love what OSight did. And I'm not just talking about adding a replaceable battery. I'm talking about what this release actually represents, because it's much more than just a battery on an optic, to me at least, right? To me, I'm looking at this from a brand's perspective or a company's perspective. OSight could have just ignored the criticism, doubled down and said, man, y'all are wrong, just like other companies that we know out there have done, right? But instead they listened. And I think as a company, if we kind of step into their shoes and we're talking about, hey, we're going to create something innovative like this XR, we're going to do the world's first this, the world's first that. And, I can only assume they were so excited about what they were doing. And when they released it, they received a ton of criticism. That could be heartbreaking, man, to to a lot of people, to some companies. So what they had to do was kind of swallow their pride, listen to that criticism, and take a step back from them being so innovative and say, the people want this, the people prefer this. Even though our idea is nice, is good, it's new, whatever, this is what they want. So let's do it. Let's release it. And that speaks volumes of that company. And not just that, but also their customer service and their warranty is awesome. Personally, I never had to use their warranty because all my dots have been good, thank God. But I know some people in the comments, they'll leave and say, hey, you know what? I had an issue with mine, but man, they sent me a new one out right away. And that counts for a lot. They honor their warranty, they honor their products. And that to me is very genuine and it's very transparent. So you got to give respect where respect is due. So at the end of the day, the XR is innovative, the XE is familiar. So which of these two are you going to go with? Don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment down below as to what your thoughts are on the XE, the XR, and OSight in general. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. But if you already have, I appreciate you guys so much. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.